morning, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. My name's Ruel Gaviola. Welcome to Tabletop Tonight, the AM edition here on the West Coast. Want to thank you all for joining me this morning. Hello, James. Good to see you. Always, my friend. And it says, I expect it with Dice Tower West to be a big month. Yes, folks. So what I'm doing today is my monthly Ruel's wrap up. So what we do here is, or what I do here is talk about the board games that I played in the previous month and rank them according to which ones I like the most. And again, I always say this every month, but I do mean this. I am very fortunate that I play a lot of great games during the month. I haven't come across, since I've been doing this for the last, I don't know, year or so, I haven't come across anything that really was terrible. Thankfully, fingers crossed, maybe I will. I feel like I have a pretty good sense of what I like and don't like in games, so I tend to, request, or I get games from publishers that I have a feeling I'm probably gonna like. So, I tend to stick with, my taste. They're not very particular. I am an Omni gamer, but for the most part, I get the games that I feel are going to be a good fit for the channel and just for playing here. Like, after you've been playing games in the hobby for a while, you start to see what type of games jive with you, what you like to play, what your family likes to play, your friends, play groups. So, yeah. Happy Monday. I hope everyone had a great weekend. I appreciate y'all. Good morning, James. Yeah, so I do this once a month, as I said, and it's been really interesting doing these because I saw Rahdo doing them, and ever since I joined his channel, he's been a great influence on me. I learned so much from him, just from the technical standpoint, the behind the scenes stuff, and then just the way he approaches his channel. So, imitation's the highest form of flattery. Is that the saying? But, basically I rip off some of the stuff that he does. And hopefully he's, I don't know if he's learned anything from me, but hopefully he has. I know he didn't do as many live streams back in the day. So I'd like to say that, I've brought him along a little bit to the Twitch world. And he's, of course, been tremendous. I mean, again, he's taught me so much on the back end of stuff and behind the scenes stuff that I cannot thank him enough. So anyways, let me know in chat what you're up to. What did you play this weekend? I'm going to let you know right now. Spoiler alert, next month when I do this, I cannot see a game topping the experience I had yesterday. I want to shout out my friend, my good friend Jeff, who had me over at his place yesterday, and we played Ark Nova. And wow, I'd heard all the hype. I try not to get on the hype machine. I get it. The board game community, when we're excited about something, you're going to know about it. And last month at Dice Tower West, table after table after table had Ark Nova on it. I know some friends of mine that were there, and that's all they played, which is crazy to me, right? But that's awesome. Whatever makes you happy. They'll play multiple games, sometimes back to back, and I can see why. It's a big, heavy, complex game, but the way it's not the hardest hardest game to learn. It's one of those games where the rules themselves, I mean, you're doing one action per turn. It's got this really neat action selection system where you have 5 actions you can take, and there's a slotted, I mean, I'm going to talk about this next month, but I've got to share it now. So you've got 5 actions you can take on your turn. You do one of them. You take that, and depending on where it is on your little track, it can be a little more powerful or a little weaker. And then you do that action, and then you slide the card back to the left, to the end of the line, basically. And then the other cards get stronger where that one becomes the weakest. And that's the main crux of the game. But then you have a little bit of set collection. You have a little bit of hand management, resource management, tile laying. Oh, engine building. I mean, if I had to pick a game to replace Terraform Mars, Ark Nova would be it. It's absolutely wonderful. Now, the thing is, like Terraform Mars, it's not a short game. For me, it was longer than Terraform Mars, and that's going to be a problem with some people. I'm starting to get to the point too where, give me those 90-minute games that, have as much of a great experience. It may not be as complex as these 3-hour games, but I don't know. I feel like I'm starting to shy away from those longer games. Having said that, though, Ark Nova, I'd play it again in a heartbeat. I cannot wait. Suffering Razor, hi, how good to see you. So much fun, Isla Cats. Yeah, when we played Isla Cats with Rahdo and everyone watching, love playing that game. Explore and draw, absolutely wonderful. I need to. So I had the prototype. That's what I was playing, and with the prototype, Frank had sent. He sends like a bunch of sheets, and I'm almost out of those sheets. So I need to just fork up the money and get my own copy of Explore and Draw. James, let's see what James played. James has played over this weekend, and folks, all of us in chat, please let me know what you played. I'd love to hear. We've got. I played lots of games with family over the weekend. 7 games, 13 plays. Wow, that's a great weekend, James. 7 Wonders Architects, Ice Cool, Batman Love Letter, 6 Cribbage, King Domino, and Space Checkers. I've not played 6 or Space Checkers. The other ones I'm familiar with. 7 Wonders Architects, I want to play that more. I've only played it at 2 players, and it was good, but I think for it to be great, it's going to be at those higher counts. I love how they streamlined it. It's definitely the 7 Wonders I would introduce to new players by far. I think it's the easiest to understand. You don't have to that wacky science scoring in the original. You don't have to worry about. So Ice Cool, great dexterity game. Batman Love Letter, that was my favorite love letter until it got supplanted by 2 other ones that I really love now. The Infinity Gauntlet one, the Infinity War, the one where you're playing against Thanos, and then of course Star Wars Love Letter. But Batman, always a good choice. Bottom Shelf says Monkeys Over Mars, right? And I think that's part of it. Someone was talking about, who was that? I was talking to, so my buddy Jeff that had me over, we were talking about why is Ark Nova the one like heavy game that's like really taking the world by storm. And he had brought up a great point that, just you're building a zoo. That's what you're building. And I think that makes it more accessible, and for rather than like the typical, okay, here's a heavy Euro game that it's trading in the Mediterranean, or it's you're in industrial England, and you know what I mean. So now it's like, hey, you're just building a zoo. Here's you have to put your animals here. You have to build the structure first. How are you going to generate income to build other stuff? It just really jibes really well with myself personally, and I think I can see why a lot of people are really enjoying it. I'm going to be emailing Capstone real soon, and hopefully we can get a copy on over here, because it does have a solo mode as well, which I would be thrilled to try. Running with the X is a first-time chatter. Thank you for joining us. They say got in the game of Redlands this weekend. Great looking. Oh, cool. Hey, how was I've seen a little bit of that game, but I gave it to a friend for a gift. I gifted a copy to a friend recently, just based on the fact that it was a Roxley game and that it was, gotten really good reviews from people I trust. And I saw Becca Scott and Jake Michaels play it over there on the Good Time Society, their 2-player Tuesdays, and I just caught a bit of it. I was like, okay, this looked pretty cool, but is it a deck building game? I caught just a little bit of the game, but it looked neat. I got it for a friend. I haven't heard back from him yet, and hopefully he liked it. So I'd love to hear what you think of that one. Let's continue here with the comments here. James played with his nephews. Oh, 6 is so good. Space Checkers are kid games. Cool. Bottom Shelf. I did see your picture, I believe, of Imperial Steam and Dune Imperium. Dune Imperium is another one I have not played yet that I hear nothing but great things about. Imperial Steam's a newer title that who put that? That's not another Capstone game, is it? But again, Bottom Shelf, I always feel like whenever I see the games you play, they're always like the hottest and the ones that I can't get a hold of. So you have to share your thoughts on that. Thank you again, Running with the Axe. Good to see you on here. And Running with the Axe just followed yesterday. Appreciate you hanging out. Okay, so friends, what we're going to be doing here, I've got a list of, I played 27 different games last month, and multiple times, pretty much of each game. There was a few games I just played once, but those were probably I think the ones I played once were the ones I had already played in the past. So hi, Amanda Panda, thanks for joining us. Good morning, and if anyone I'm sure everyone follows Amanda now, but if you don't, please give Amanda a follow, give her a shout out right there. And I'm going to get going here with the 27, I believe, games that I played this weekend. Let me make sure this is all working. I believe it is. I hope it is. And Slivers just resubscribed. Thank you for resubscribing, Slivers. Always appreciate support. Much love, friend. 19 months. Wow. So we've been doing, Michelle and I were talking about this last night. This, and we forgot to mention it on last week. So April 1st, every first day of the month, we sort of reset the season of Tabletop Tonight. So this month is season 23. So we've been doing this 23 straight months, basically from the start of the pandemic here in the U.S., March 2020. I still can't believe it. It's going to be, it is March. Was it March? Oh, yeah. We started Tabletop, Live at 5 in March 2020. Did that a couple of months on Facebook. And then over here in May on Twitch, here on Twitch, May 2020 is when we started Tabletop Tonight. We rebranded, right? And wow, what a journey. Well, we'll talk more about that. It's 24 months, 2 years. I feel like I'm really bad about, anniversaries and stuff. Well, except for my marriage, of course. I mean, I'm okay with the wedding anniversary and birthdays and stuff. But as far as our channel is concerned, I'm really bad about marking these big events. So, we're approaching. And thank you all. I'm looking at, we're approaching 2,000 followers here on Twitch. I just noticed the other day I was over 5,000 followers on Twitter, and we're going to be on season 24 of Tabletop Tonight. That blows me away, and I cannot thank you all enough. I feel like sometimes I don't push hard enough to, I'm not the best as far as like numbers guy, right? Like I don't like go for, I need to, the algorithms saying this, I need to tweak my stream to do that. No, I'm all about, let's just enjoy playing games and hanging out with the community, because that's what we started at the start of the pandemic. It was a way for Michelle, Lauren, and I to hang out every day, have something to do while we were in lockdown, and it was a neat way to stay in touch with family and friends. So thank you all. And 20 Games in the house. Hello, good to see you here. And Bottom Shelf has redeemed a Bruno fan. Thanks for being a Bruno fan, Bottom Shelf. We love Bruno. We miss him a lot. We talk about it almost every day. So Slivers is here in the house. We're going to get to, James is also a Bruno fan. We're all Bruno fans. We're going to get to the list right now. I hope I did this right. Let's see if I did this. Yeah, there is. Let's start off and let me see. Let me make sure I got this right. Okay. And I can do this. Yeah, that's probably better. But then why do I do this here? Okay. All right, friends. So this is the 27 games that I played last month. Ranked them from worst to first, and honestly, none of them were bad. But I have a particular taste, and you will see which ones I like the best and which ones I didn't like as much. Starting off with number 27, The Sherlock Files, Volume 3, Puzzling Plots. And there I am right there in playing the game. You can see it is a social deduction game. Well, not social deduction, a deduction game where you're trying to find out who done it. In this case, I did the opening case, which was called The Butler. And supposedly, did the butler do it? We don't know. And there I am with the my green screen camera not working to its best ability here. But you have it's a neat little system where you play cards and you go through a deck one time and get notes. And as you can see there, I have a map there. Trying to lap the times. I'm terrible at these games. Everyone knows that social deductions are not my jam, but this one I really liked how they use the card system. So you start with one card that tells you the case, then you have a deck, you shuffle it up, take out 6 cards in the solo game, and I soloed this online, so everyone in chat helped me out, thankfully. And you play the cards, you're going to start gathering clues and start to put together, okay, what happened here, who are the suspects, what can we deduce from the facts that we get. And it played in about an hour. Like I said, thankfully I had our friends in chat, especially Tim Riel, who helped me out, and we solved the crime. We got like a really good score, actually. And so it tells you at the end, once you open up the answer and you can look and you answer questions, and then depending on that, you're going to get certain points. And we actually did a better score than I thought we would. There I am, just like turning off the green screen. I'm like, forget it. Let's just go here so you can read the cards. So I actually had a good time with that one. Not too bad, not as bad as I thought it would be. But I did enjoy the next game a little more, actually a lot more, because social deduction games are really not my jam. The next one on the list is Crystal Tiger Dice. This is so silly. This is something I backed on Kickstarter. I do a show called Good Looking Kickstarters with Becca Scott, and it's been on hiatus as we retool and figure out what we're going to do with it. But every week, every other week when we had our production meetings, it'd be Becca, myself, and the team, and Matt, one of the producers. We'd go over what we thought looked interesting on Kickstarter that week. And this one, Matt just said, look at this. This is silly. Crystal Tiger Dice. And I said, oh, I'm automatic. Look at that tiger. It's so cute. And he's like, he backed it too. And it's a silly little game. You take a tiger, a die, a 20-sided die, and a crystal. That's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-sided crystal. Is that it? Or is it 5? It's a 5-sided crystal. And you roll them. You literally roll these things and you get points. So if the crystal ends up like that, like it looks like a pyramid, you got 5 points. If it's on its side, like a skew, you get like 2 points, I think. And then the 20-sided die, you get however many points it says. So in that case, it says 20. So that's a nice roll. And then the tiger, depending on the tiger, how it lands, you're going to get points. So I think the tiger standing up is 10. And then on its side, it's like 2 or 4. But if the tiger lands on its back, you have killed the tiger, unfortunately, and you can no longer roll it on your turn. So it's going to take you longer to score points. And Michelle and I played this, and I backed it, and part of it was I backed it because part of the proceeds go to the World Wildlife Foundation, the OG WWF. So it was a nice way to support endangered species like the tiger. And the guy that did, I forget the guy's name, but he seemed really cool, and it was just like such a labor of love, right? I think he 3D printed the tiger and then hand painted each one. So he did like 500 of these. So I was like, whoa. So it took a little while to I mean, it didn't take that long, what am I saying? I backed it late or early last year, I believe. And then late last year, I got my copy. And it just comes up in a really small little bag. Crystal Tiger Dice, silly fun. Absolutely loved it, though. Michelle and I had a good time with that. Moving on to my number 25 game for the month. It is Pathways. And here, Michelle and I, we are playing. This was a sponsored stream from our friends at... oh, gosh. I forget the name of the company. Oh, I'm so sorry, Frank. Frank's the gentleman's name. Frank Pathways has come up with this nice little crokinole-style game. It looks like a checkerboard, but those are holes in the board, folks. It's almost like a cheese grater, I guess. I don't know. But look, okay, there I am lifting up, and we can get all the pieces back to the little checker style pieces. And I'm going to fast forward a little bit here. And Argentano, thank you, Slivers. Appreciate that. And as you can see, Michelle and I are going back and forth here, just flicking the disc. And if it falls in a hole, it's going to open up a pathway. And there's Frank right there commenting. It'll open a pathway for your opponent or yourself. As you can see, you can shoot there. And what you're trying to do is get to your opponent's first line there of holes. And if you get that, then you get a point. And I think it's like a dozen checkers or pieces per player each round. And whoever gets the most points will take that round. And it's a race to 11 points. Ooh, there's a nice shot by Michelle. And there's a little score track. I'm up on Michelle's 7-1, and I just hit my own piece. So that's going to be, we're tied at that point. It's a neat little, it's a neat little take on Crokinole. Crokinole is my all-time favorite dexterity game. So when I saw this, I was excited because the way Frank pitched it was he had been inspired, by Crokinole. And, to play this game, it's a lot different experience, but it's got that same flicking motion, right? But there I am giving myself a fist bump. But we had fun with it. It's a wonderful 2-player game. They had a bunch of options. I think they may still be on Kickstarter right now. Just Google Pathways Kickstarter, you'll find it. But really neat dexterity game. Thanks to Frank for sponsoring an episode and got to play that. And Sliver says, "I'm pretty sure that's your friend from Guest Night." No, I think this is Michelle, right? Is this Michelle's? Yeah, there's Michelle. I see Michelle's face right there. There's Michelle. There she is. Yeah. The camera, like I remember when we did that. There we are eating popcorn. I remember when we did the stream. I was having trouble with the colors and stuff there, so our hands probably look a little funny. But anyways, Pathways, wonderful little game, and that is from Argentano, and it says right there on the screen. Thank you, Slivers. Oh, and Slivers was looking at the wrong hand. Yeah, not that's not Michelle's hand. That is my hand right there. All right, let's continue the list here. Number 24, Fire and Stone. And here we are, Michelle and I playing Fire and Stone from Pegasus Spiel, another sponsored stream. I want to thank them for partnering with us. And this is an interesting game by Klaus Jürgen Red. I know I'm probably butchering the name, so my apologies. He is the designer of Carcassonne. So when this came across our table, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to play this. And it's got this, instead of tile laying, you're tile flipping. And Michelle and I are exploring the world. This is Pangea, right? When all the continents were one big land. It's Stone Age type game, but not like Stone Age the board game. This is actually really different, but it does has some of that like aesthetic, right? You are in the Stone Age. You have a tribe. You are competing against your fellow tribes. It's a 2 to 4 player game, and you basically I like the simplicity of it, where it's very gateway. Where hey, you start at one spot, so we start at the bottom of, I believe, Africa here, and you work your way up. You can move 1 or 2 spaces. You flip over the tiles, and then you're either going to get resources or you can build a hut. Once you build the hut, and you can see here, Michelle and I have a couple of them here in little groups. It's area control or area majority at the end of the game. So you really want to get those huts out there, and it's a cool little. I'd say probably Gateway Plus. Well, I mean, but how about a Gateway between Gateway and Gateway Plus? It's just slightly above. I'd say a little more going on than like say Carcassonne, the designers of the game. I don't mean to compare it to Carcassonne so much. It's only because he was the designer of it. But this is, as you can see, it's got area control, area majority, and you're going to eventually go out. There's 1, 2, and 3 sections. Once you build 3 huts in the first section, that's when you can move to the second. You have to continue exploring to reveal the other tiles until you get the necessary hut tiles. So I think it's 3 in the first round, 4 in the second, to get to the next land. And as you can see down here, you got these little action cards that you can pick up. Again, it's a little random where they're going to show up on the board, but what's neat is you can collect, as you collect animals, there's going to be little animals in the discovery sections. From there, you're going to have to cook them, right? And how do you cook them? With fire. So once you find the fire spaces, you can either go one that's, wherever there's a fire space you go to, and you cook the animals. And what that does is help you get food and help you get materials to build your huts. So it's a really, as far as thematic wise goes, I feel like it's more thematic than, once again, compared to Carcassonne. It's got a little more tie into the theme. But yeah, nice little gateway, a little slightly above gateway style game from our friends at Pegasus Spiel. That is Fire and Stone. And the next game we have up here, if I can do this, is The Adventures of Robin Hood. This one's from Michael Menzel, the designer of Legends of Andor and a few other games. I bring up Legends of Andor because the way the Adventures of Robin Hood is set up, it's similar to how Legends of Andor is set up. You learn by playing, and I love this. I love this type of learning method where it gives you, like in this case, it gave you 1 sheet of paper, and on that sheet of paper, it says get these components out, lay the board out, and then jump right into playing. And as you can see, I think there was a scene I just saw. There it is with the book. You have this choose your own adventure style book, and the book itself, the qualities are outstanding. The quality of the game, the components are phenomenal, outstanding. As you can see there, I mean, this is a hardback book. You have choices to make, and depending on where you send Robin Hood, Little John, Maid Marian, all the gang, wherever there, you're going to find out what to do, choices to make. And it's got this really neat, let me see if I can find it, movement system where you're moving Robin Hood and all the other characters using, oh, there's Little John. Oh, okay, I'm actually doing the setup right there. You're going to use these little figures that have different lengths to them. And depending on how you place them on board, let me see if I can find that. Where is it? Okay, that's the action marker. There's more of the book. Depending on how you lay your action pieces down, you can extend them, really far, or travel a short distance. And you place one marker at one side. Okay, there it is right there. So there's Robin Hood up there in the left corner. And then as I'm adding the figure there, that's going to determine how far I move. Now, I'm using the long figure there. That means I'm going to need a rest. Basically, I don't, I'm just going to use the figures. But if I don't use the long figure, what's neat is that you're going to get a rest token into the bag. And that's going to help you, since you're more well-rested, it's going to help you, fight guards and whatnot. So there I am right there. And then you just pull off the pieces. Whoops, I dropped it there. And that's where you end up at the end of your turn. It's really neat, too, because some of the, as you can see on the board, some of the spots are shadowed, and you can sort of hide out there from the guards. If you're in a clearing with a guard, then that means you're going to have to fight. But really, really neat game. I just did the tutorial / introductory adventure because I don't want to spoil anything. I've seen not most, but I've seen parts of this afterwards. Really good stuff. As far as if you're looking for like choose your own adventure style games with a really strong narrative, this is the one for you. The Adventures of Robin Hood from Cosmos. All right. Next up on the list is Oak. All right. Here's the first game I played over there on... Whoops, that's not Oak. That's... spoiler alert. That's not Oak. I just showed you the wrong game. There's Oak. This is the first game I played over there at Dinosaur West with my friend Richard Ham, aka Rahdo. We had never met in person before. We've only gotten to know each other through video over the last year or so, and we had met at Dinosaur West the Thursday. The first was it Wednesday or Thursday? First day of the show. Sorry, Wednesday, first day of the show. And we met, chilled, hung out, and got to know each other. It was really great. And actually, did we play? We might have played another game first, but we scheduled this game for Friday morning, like 10 a.m. And it was myself, Richard, and two other gentlemen whose names I completely forgot. My bad. But it was a fun little worker placement game. It's got this resource management aspect to it. Where's the rest of the board? No, that's not it. Oh, well, I'll just show this one here. And I liked it, but we played something wrong. At the start, we were supposed to get resources. We didn't start with any resources. So basically, all of us on the first turn, we took our turns gathering resources and ignoring some other stuff. But this was a lot of fun. As you can see, I don't know, man, I wish I had better pictures. Oh, okay, here's some. Really cool. There's a lot of iconography on this game, but I felt like it was really easy to understand. And the art is really cool. You're, playing as druids, I believe, in the forest. And, classic, get resources, turn them into other resources in order to get the things that score points. And then, using worker placement. It's a really rock solid game. I think a lot of people are going to like this one, especially I know Rahdo really enjoyed it. And I think, his weight carries his word carries a lot of weight. And I feel like people that are, enjoy these type of Euros will enjoy this one. Oh, I had a good time with it. It played, 69 minutes. It totally played within that game time. And I was talking about this earlier where these days I'm leaning more towards, these type of games where, the game experience itself can be complex and not above like a simple above like gateway weight, and it doesn't have to take 3 hours, right? This took 90 minutes at a 4-player count, and I really appreciate that about these games. And friends, we are getting raided. Thank you, Rainer, for the raid. Good morning to you, friend. I hope you're well. This is the Raid Helmet. Welcome to my stream, folks. My name's Ruel Gaviola. This is Tabletop Tonight, the AM edition here on the West Coast. Raina and Party, thank you for hanging out with me today. Hope you're well. Let us know in chat what you're up to, what games you're playing, if you're just hanging out. I appreciate that. I got a first-time chatter. Coach, is it Coach Lazy? Thank you, Coach, for joining us. Elle, hi, Elle. Thanks for joining us. Want to also shout out Phantom Meeple. N20 was here earlier. Sophie and Razor was here earlier as well. Mayor Canada, I didn't see you earlier. Thank you for joining us, Mayor Canada. And everyone, hang out with us. What I'm doing today is Ruel's wrap-up. This is my monthly look back at the games that I played last month. I like to rank them from worst to first, even though I never play. I cross my fingers, knock on wood or whatever. I haven't played any bad games since I started doing this last year, but there are games that I enjoy more than others. So I'm ranking 27 of them. Thank you again for hanging out, and I'm gonna get back to the list, friends. I'm gonna take the Raid helmet off. Thank you, Raina. Hope you're well, and it's good to see you here, friend. Oops, that's not it. That's hey, look, that's gonna be R2D2, the Lego. Michelle and I are building Legos. That'll be maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow night. I don't know. But let me get back to the list here. We are on. I'll catch you all up. So we did number 27, the Sherlock Files. 26 was Crystal Tiger Dice. 25 was Pathways. 24 was Fire and Stone. And 23 was The Adventures of Robin Hood. And we are talking about Oak, number 21. This is the game that I played with Rahdo over at Dice Tower West. We're just talking about, it's a worker placement game, druids. They have a magical tree out there, and you're gathering all the bits and goodies like any good Euro does, and trying to convert them to other bits and goodies. I totally forgot about the theme, honestly. I mean, it was after playing it. I remember I was like, I really enjoyed it, but I was like, man, I need to play it again and figure out, to recall what the theme was. Here, I'll just look at it right here real quick. The theme was. The secret forest stands there, the arch of the majestic tree. So you actually you have a worker that you can send up the tree and get unlock abilities and get more points and stuff. So yeah, pretty cool game. All right, so let's move on. We've talked about number 21. We're going to move on to our number 20 game last month, Décorum. Yet another game that I played at Dice Tower West, and I was fortunate. I got to play this at Gen Con. Very quick preview, but this time I played a 4-player game, Décorum, with Shannon from Chip Theory Games, Ian from Floodgate Games, the company that publishes this, and my good friend Amanda Panda. And boy, let me tell you, the 4-player game we played was tough. The demo I'd done at Gen Con, super easy. I was like, okay, this is cool, but we picked I feel like we picked out the hardest scenario to do this. And what it is, it's a cooperative game, but it is of limited information. So for each of these rooms, we have a different scenario or a different goal that we have in mind. Like, for instance, maybe I want this blue lamp in this room here, in the bedroom, and then maybe Amanda has a goal that she wants it painted yellow. Sometimes the goals they sort of bash heads with each other. So on your turn, you're going to place these items in the room, and then you cannot say exactly, okay, I need this here or I need that there. No, you really get into the role-playing aspect of it. Rahdo had mentioned this, no matter who you play with, it's so easy to role-play. It's like, oh, in this room, I hated this color, or I don't love what this is, and it's so funny. It's like, oh, this is perfect, or this is beautiful. And as Amanda says, yeah, Amanda, you're right. Ian totally picked such a tough scenario, but it made it fun, right? It was it was a really good challenge for us, and we're all gamers, so we're trying to figure out ways to figure out how can we get this all here, and it was a fun game. I think this is going to be a hit for Floodgate Games because of the role-playing aspect and how easy it is. It plays, I think, over 8 rounds, and every round you're just placing items in your rooms, what you think is what you're trying to accomplish, and then other people doing stuff too. And then after each round, you're going to talk without totally revealing cards, and then you're going to talk it out, and then you're going to remove and reshuffle things. And then there's a point in the game where you actually do share a card with someone else. So Décorum from Floodgate Games. Fun game. Let's move on to, that was number 22. Let's move on to number 20, or, oh, that was 19. Did I skip a number? I did. Oh my gosh, where did my numbers go? Oh no. I thought I had this all set up correctly, folks, and unfortunately I didn't. Let me see if this goes here. Oh no. Did I forget to put number 21? I might have forgot to put number 21, folks. Did I? Oh. This is great. This is awesome. So 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. Oh no, 21 was Oak. What was 22? Did I skip 22? Wow. Maybe I did. All my numbers are all off. And so this is the joy of a live stream when things go haywire like this. Okay, 22 is on the list here. Oh, you know what? Oh, 22. Why did you jump over there? Okay, when I was copying this over. Okay. Yeah, okay, here we go. Yes, Dutch, thank you. Cardboard Conjurer, thank you for... Yeah, it's totally... that's what it is. It is a Monday. So, of course, things like this are going to happen. So, let's review. 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. Okay. 21 was Oak. 20 was the Little Flower Shop. And here we are, folks. The Little Flower Shop from Steve Finn, Dr. Finn's Games. And Steve Finn, I really enjoy his designs. He partners a lot with Pencil First Games. Games like Herbaceous, Floriferous, Sunset Over Water. And this is his own company, Dr. Finn's Games. And the Little Flower Shop, beautiful game. Look, I mean, you're seriously, it's the theme I love. He does these themes that are just so welcoming and just different than your typical fantasy sci-fi stuff, right? So Little Flower Shop is, you're running a flower shop, and this is the window of your shop. Of course, you're trying to attract customers in there, and what you're doing is collecting sets of flowers and putting them into vases or the hanging baskets there. And I did a solo game of this, and so the game is a card drafting game and set collection. So I like the way he did the card drafting here, because I have 7 stacks of cards. I start with the one on the left and move to the right, and each stack, I do this. I flip one over, and then I decide whether to take it or continue to the next card. If I skip it, I discard it. I go to the next card. Do I like it? I keep it or I continue. And you're going to do that with each stack. And each stack, there's progressively gets smaller and smaller until the final 2 stacks, which have 2 cards each. And oh, what a neat little game. I don't like this quite as much as Floriferous. I think of that immediately just because of the flowers, right? But this is a wonderful game that plays in 20 minutes. And that's another thing I love about Steve Finn's games. The ones I've played, they all take 20 to 30 minutes, and they all deliver a fantastic gaming experience in that time. And, they're quick to set up, quick to tear down. You can totally play multiple of these during the game night. And that's why I really enjoy this. That's the Little Flower Shop from Steve Finn at Dr. Finn's Games. I'm going to hydrate. Oh, and James says, I use a similar Dr. Finn method for my solo variation for Athenium, the Mystic Library. And I've been talking about that for, I feel like, a year now, playing that, James. And, I need to just get that off the shelf and play. Because, folks, James, he's one of our wonderful members of the community. He and Legends are in charge of our solo challenges every couple of weeks. And he actually came up with his own solo variant for Athenium, the Mystic Library. So I'm checking that out real soon. Okay, let's continue here. The next one on the list is, let's see if I got the numbers right this time. Number 19, yay, Silver and Gold. And where was it? I believe, yeah, this is Michelle and I playing this. This is like, oh wow, this is like almost 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. Silver and Gold from our friend, well, not our real friend, but our friend in our minds, Phil Walker Harding. Praise be, yes. A roll and write game, and it is the one I feel like that influenced Super Mega Lucky Box, his latest one. it's got this one though. It's got polyominoes that you're trying to fill in, the little Tetris shapes, and as you fill them in, you write them on your little cards there, and you score points for every card that you complete. And certain ones give you combos, and I feel like this is where Phil Walker Harding, developed Super Mega Lucky Box, because as you can see there on the screen, some of the cards have palm trees, some of them have little X's. If you cross an X there, it gives you a free X on another card or the same card. And then as you fill them up, you're going to get coins for points, and the palm trees you're going to score immediately, depending on how many palm trees are there. I felt like he took that mechanism, stripped out the polyominoes, and came up with Super Mega Lucky Box. We're really loving Super Mega Lucky Box, but I got to remember, Silver and Gold is the OG, and Phil Walker Harding, praise be, always a great game from one of our favorite designers, and that is number 19, Silver and Gold. Number 18 is Tumble Town, and I believe I have run out of, yes, I have run out of little pre-made, what is it? I had the links all set up, so now you're gonna see me live type it in here, Ruel Gaviolo Tumble Town, because I know I streamed this, a solo game of this, and let's get to the gameplay. Dice build, or a dice placement game, and it's set in the Wild West, and I thought this was wonderful, especially for a solo game. Very easy to keep track of. No, like the bot was real straightforward. That wasn't too. You didn't have to consult a bunch of charts or anything like that. And it's got engine building to it. It's got this nice little spatial element, which I didn't expect. The spatial element was really cool, where you have these dice here as you build. You get the dice into your town, and you have to figure out where you're going to put these in your little town. As you can see here, now I have these laying down. In the actual game, you're going to stand these up. It's almost not really a dexterity game, but it's like 3D, right? And you're going to see the buildings there. And there's one of the cards. There's Kermit. Oh, we all have like special abilities or secret missions, basically. So I get a point for every cowboy boot that's on my in my tableau there. So you roll dice. You're going to use them to build your buildings, and then you're going to gather resources. Different colored dice let you build different colored buildings. There are 3 different types. I think one is strictly for points. One's get you extra dice. And then the other, I forgot what the other one was, but really cool solo gaming experience. I have not played it multiplayer, but I figured it'd be just as good, if not. Well, actually, no, it'd probably be better, because do you compete? No, you don't. You do compete again for the buildings as well, as whereas the AI has like a set pattern of what they're gonna take and do. So they have their own dice that they roll, and basically as you roll the dice, they go into your town. So you're gonna lose those dice, and eventually a couple of the pools of dice are gonna run out, or a certain line of buildings are gonna run out, and that's what triggers the end game. Very cool game. That's Tumble Town, and by Kevin Russ. I wanted to mention the designer. If you like Calico or Overboss, Kevin Russ is the same designer. This was, I think, the game that came out right before those. So you see sort of like he's got even though they're not tile laying, it's got a little puzzle element to it. So, Kevin Russ, a designer who has been, who's created a bunch of hits in our home, Tumble Town. All right, let's move on to number 17. This is the What Not Cabinet. Hey, we were just talking about our friend. I like to call her one of my friends. I haven't met any of these people, folks. The What Not Cabinet. We were speaking of Dr. Steve Finn. I believe this is another game of his. Let's see. We can look on the box cover here. Yeah, Steve Finn, Beth Sobel. You have Beth Sobel. You have My Interests, and Edouard Baraf over there at Pencil First. What Not Cabinet. Yet another game that has set collection, but oh my gosh, this one's so good. It's got the puzzle of, right here, you're laying tiles down, and you're collecting different sets going across and up and down, basically, right? You have different goals that you're trying to achieve, and whoops, you don't want to see my big old face there. You have these goals here, and it's got this neat little king domino effect where you place your token is where you're going to go start the next round. And I really like that about this game. And yet another 20-minute game that delivers way beyond what you think, because it's a smaller box game, and you play it, it's like it's crunchy. Like, I mean, not super crunchy where your head's gonna explode, but trying to figure out, oh, do I want this tile to go here, or do I want that tile to go there? And then what am I trying to prevent my opponent from doing? And do I go first, even though it gives me a certain type of action? If I go second, it gives me a different type of action, so forth. So many wonderful little decisions to make in about a 20 to 30 minute game. This one, it ranked highly for me. Let me see, when it came out from 2021. Last year, it was a highly ranked game for me, and I cannot recommend this game enough. That is the Whatnot Cabinet from Pencil First Games. I'm gonna hydrate again. I want to thank everyone for joining me today here on Tabletop Tonight. Appreciate y'all. I'm gonna catch up on chat here. Let's see. James says, I guess I'll best. Oh, talking about Under Falling Skies. I have not played Under Falling Skies yet. Oh my gosh. And then we got some praise bees, for the PWH. And let's continue. So there I am playing the Whatnot Cabinet. Let's move on to number 16, folks. Played the games that I played last month. Here we are ranking them. Number 16 was Reykholt. I forgot about this. Reykholt. And I'm afraid I'm pronouncing it wrong. But Reykholt from Uwe Rosenberg, a master designer of worker placement games and also tile laying, polyomino games. This one's a worker placement game. This one's lighter than his other stuff, like Feast for Odin, and and it's a lighter than not Feast. What was it? Agricola. It's a lighter worker placement game, but I didn't expect to have as much fun as I did. Honestly, I love this game. This was a game that I read about years ago, where people were like, it's lighter. It's I was thinking, okay, Uwe Rosenberg, I really wanted to play it, but I never had a chance to until Renegade sent this over a while ago. It sat on my shelf of opportunity for way too long, and I really enjoyed this. You are tending to your vegetable garden, and what you're doing, the track that you're running along there on the far, it's like a horseshoe around here. You're going to be moving up that space, so you can see I did there, by feeding people. You're feeding these tourists your wonderful vegetables from your garden, and they require certain ones. So in this case, like, I need 2 tomatoes. I have to have those 2 tomatoes ready in order to go up that track. If I don't, then I have to find a way to produce those, and that's what the worker placement pieces are for. I played a solo game. It's neat because you're basically blocking yourself. You put 3 tokens there per round, and then the next round you have another set of tokens, and you're going to go there, and those previously placed ones are blocking you. So you place 3 more, and then you take off the previous 3, so those spaces open up. So you're really trying to, figure out how you can, use the spaces so that your best ability to be the most efficient. And then, as you plant in your flower beds here, you're going to grow tomatoes and lettuce, cauliflower, and so forth. So it's there I am getting raided. Always fun to see the raid helmet. But yeah, the different spaces, it's a wonderful little worker placement game. I don't know why people didn't like it. I think they might have been expecting like the next Agricola or whatever. It's a perfectly wonderful game by a master designer, Uwe Rosenberg. Yeah, Fen Sensei says, if this was so much fun, how did it go all the way down to 16? I've enjoyed all the games I played, Fen Sensei, and thank you for joining us today. You're going to see as we continue up the list, there's just games that are more my jam. So I am going to be I recommend any of these games, honestly. I said at the start of the stream, and I say this every month, I'm very fortunate to get games that, jibe with my play style. So it's not like I won't be, bringing in games that I'm not really into. I stream the games that I like. I stream the games that I feel deserve to be highlighted or featured. So all these games, I will be saying, yes, I like them. So there is no like, oh, I hated this game. That's just not my style. I'm not going to come on here and waste my time 10, 15 minutes or whatever it is talking about a game I hated. I think there's better use for energy, my energy personally, than to rip a game apart. If it's not my jam, it's not my jam. And I typically won't stream a game I do not enjoy. Actually, you know, I've only done that maybe once or twice where it wasn't my thing. So anyways, Reykholt, number 16. Thanks for joining us, folks. Let's continue with the list. Number 15 on my list is Dice Miner. And y'all, if you've been watching me the last few months, I love Dice Miner. This was my number 1 game a few months ago. So this is like, you know, let me see. Let me get to the gameplay here. Where's the gameplay? Well, it's stuck right now. Oh, is my internet going? Okay, there we are. Michelle and I love this one. I brought it over to Dice Star West, played it a bunch of times, introduced it to Rahdo. He loved it. Introduced it to Dwayne from Blackboard Gaming. He loved it. And this is such a cool dice drafting set collection game. Where you grab dice from the mountain, you're eventually, you know, you want to score. They all score differently. Some you want in sequential order, those like Yahtzee style, number 1 through 15, or 1 through 5, 1 through 15. You have the beer dice, which you say cheers, and you can give that to another player. You're trying to collect magic dice for rerolls. It was such a surprise hit for me last year, and it is absolutely wonderful. I want to thank Slivers, a valued member of our community that's here, and it is such a big hit, and everyone I play with it has loved it, and I highly recommend this one, Dice Miner. And let me see. I got some comments here. I want to see this comment here. So Fem Sensei says, I value the concept of how did something drop or race. Sounds like that one dropped because of style mechanics preference. You know what? Fem Sensei brings a good point. I want to talk about what this Ruel's wrap-up is. So this is not like my list of all-time great games. So this is going to be basically, look at this like the top, you know, like the Billboard Top 100 songs, right? So certain songs will be super popular one week or 1 month. Like, you know, I don't know what y'all kids listen to these days, but, you know, back in the day, you know, you had like, you know, hits that were at the top of the charts. And then as time went on, like the weeks go by, another hit comes up. So that's what my Ruel's wrap up is every month. I'll play the same games every, you know, each month. Like Dice Miner, I played, you know, every month since I got it a couple of months ago. And it started really high. And then, you know, as other games come in, other games go up and low. So it's not like I'm not ranking these all time. This is just for the month, like a Billboard 100. Maybe I should change the name of it from Ruel's wrap up to Ruel's Billboard list. I don't know, but yeah, that's pretty much how I do this. And thank you again, Slivers, for doing that. I appreciate that. This game is really Anne. Okay, thank you for reminding me, folks. Anne says this game is 10% off with a code from the Sovereignty email. Oh, cool. So, folks, sign up for Sovereignty email and you will get 10% off. Very cool. Thanks for sharing that. Appreciate that. And Slivers got great news. Pre-orders for a second printing Dice Miner in May are built. Oh, thank goodness. It's been out of print for a while. And, you know, Slivers, I think Michelle and I played it. We played at least a dozen times. I've sold it as well. And no, go ahead and post the link. Please do. Please share the link to that in chat. So thank you, Slivers, for that. And we're going to get back to the list, folks. So let's move back over here. Oops. Back to this thing always resets. So, hey, this is a good way to talk about what we've done so far. We're about halfway through. Sherlock Files 27. Crystal Tiger Dice. Pathways. Fire and Stone. 23, The Adventures of Robin Hood. 22, Décorum. 21, Oak. 20, The Little Flower Shop. 20, or did I skip over one? 20, The Little Flower Shop. 19, Silver and Gold. 18, Tumble Town. 17, The Whatnot Cabinet. 16, Reykholt. And number 15, Dice Miner. And let's see what our next one is on the list. Number 14, Project L. Oh, Project L. I don't have this. Oh, there's me and Michelle. Let me see. Board Game Geek, Project L. I don't have any pictures of this. I forgot to take pictures. I don't have video because we didn't live stream. But we got to play this with the Brothers Murph recently. Michelle and I were very lucky and fortunate to run into the Brothers Murph. We were out in their area, different part of Southern California, last weekend. And we met up at a game shop called Xander's Game House in Camarillo, California. Wonderful little place. And They have a nice selection of games. It's basically a shop where you can go and rent games and play them there. You can just borrow them and play them in the library. It costs like $5 to sit there all day. They have snacks. They have D&D sessions going. The owner, we chatted for a few minutes. Super nice person. And Project L's on the shelves. Mike, I think it was Mike that picked it out and said, "Have you guys played this?" And we have not. And L says, I love this comment. L says, "Need to get this one. It has my name on it." Yes, L, you definitely need this. We would like to buy this for our daughter Lauren. But this is a Tetris style game. Michelle and I love Tetris style games, especially Michelle, the polyominoes. And you're just building the little puzzles as each one comes out. On your turn, you can take one of the puzzles, the incomplete puzzles on the board here, or you can take one of the shapes and place it on board. And you get 3 actions. You can repeat actions, and as you finish them, you get the points, and then some of them give you extra pieces. And Dead Last Skin, hello. Thank you for the lurk. Appreciate it, friend. And this was an awesome game. Wow, this is so good. Michelle really instantly wanted to buy it, and sure enough, it's not available anywhere. Anyone have any idea when if there's gonna be another printing soon? Because we need to buy this. Now these pieces, these look like wooden pieces. The ones in the game we played, which is probably the final. No, these are 3D printed ones. Here they are. There's like these acrylic, sort of like Azul style like feel to it. Oh, wonderful components. As you can see, there's the player aid. Certain pieces you can upgrade. So on your turn, you can either upgrade pieces, take a piece, or put them out there. Then they have like there's like a master action, which you can do once per turn, where you put pieces on all your little puzzles. Wow, this is good. You know what? It's funny. Sensei was talking about why didn't certain games rank higher. This one, I probably, thinking about it, I could totally, rank this even higher on my list. It was so good. Phantom People said, "I had a blast playing." Yeah, I did. I missed this at Dice Tower West. I really regret not backing this on Kickstarter, because this is absolutely fantastic game. Sophie Norris says, "These pieces look delicious." Yes, do not eat any pieces, folks. I do not recommend. You do not see that here. But yeah, don't eat pieces, but play Project L. Wonderful game from Mikhail Mikes, Jan Sokol, and Adam Spanel from Boardcubator. Yes, Amanda also loves Project L. And just bought Dice Miner. Nice. Awesome. Let's move on to our number 13 game this month. I'm going to hydrate real quick. Thanks again for hanging out with me, folks. Number 13 is Wordsy. And of course, Wordsy is going to rank highly. Oh, you know what? Let me see. Wordsy. Oh, YouTube. Not you. YouTube Wordsy. And let's see if Ruel Gabiola's played it. I believe that gentleman has. There it is. On Words on Wednesday. This is my new show. Every other Wednesday, I do Words on Wednesday. What is Words on Wednesday? Glad you asked, Ruel. Words on Wednesday is where I focus on books, graphic novels, and then word-based games. So in this episode last week, what I did was I previewed a couple of books. Here's a Star Wars book. Here's Amora, which was on Kickstarter, a graphic novel. And then I went into a game of Wordsy. One of my all-time favorite word games. These will always rank highly because I love word games. I'm a word nerd. I was a technical writer back in the day. I graduated my English degree, blah, blah, blah. What makes Wordsy so great is you'll see on the board here, or on the table, you only have consonants. You can create any word you want, folks, using vowel. You have to supply the vowels. So, I mean, in this case, if I did the word bleed, or bleeds, BLEEDS. So I would score 5, 10, 14, 17 points, because you only get points for the cards that are on there. And you're trying to get as many points as you can. I played the solo game. Wonderful solo game. It plays up to 6 people. It's about a 20-minute game. It does have a small real-time element to it. So if you're the fastest speller, you're going to get a bonus. But that doesn't penalize you as the other players, because if you can beat the fastest player's word, so if I scored 17 like I just did here, I'll get a bonus for being the fastest, but you may get a bigger bonus for getting a better score than me. So if you take your time, come up with a better word, then you will get a higher score. You play 7 rounds. You take your best 5 scores, add that up. That's the total. Wordsy by Gil Hova and Formal Ferret Games. It's about a 5-year-old game. It'll never leave my collection. I love it. It's an evergreen title for me. All right, let's move on to number 12. And thank you for the lurk, Anne. Appreciate it. Number 12 is the Guild of Merchant Explorers, the Queen's Orders. I do not have any pictures of this. The Guild of Merchant, and there it is here on Board Game Geek. I don't have any pictures of this because I've played the prototype a couple of times. Thanks to our friends at AEG. It's from Matthew Dunstan, Brett J. Gilbert. AEG only has this picture up right now. The best way for me to describe this is a Kingdom Builder, but a better version of Kingdom Builder. I feel like it's a better version. I've got a couple of quibbles with it as far as colorblind issues go. But they have addressed some of those, and I remember talking to Vlad at AEG because he's also colorblind. But we have, I think we're both red-green colorblind, but again, the different shades will look different to people's eyes. And I had the first time I played at Gen Con, I had trouble with it. And I mentioned to him, and then when I played with him, Amanda, and Book of Nerds recently in LA at the Game House. He had showed the board that we each had, and he showed how like they'd included something like a little different texture on the or a different not texture, but different style of drawing on each little hex that was like red or green. So this one is wonderful. You are trying to connect buildings, or you're trying to connect from one land to another. You can go across sea. You're placing pieces there. There are no other pictures here. I'm not going to look through my Google Photos, but what's cool is that you have different goals each game, and they're going to come up in different order, and you're going to go around this map, fill it out. You play, I think, 5 rounds, was it, Amanda? I forget. Amanda says, I just taught this to Dan and Christine from Going Analog. They loved it. Yeah, wonderful game. I'm a huge fan of AEG. You're going to see more AEG titles. You've already seen one here. You're going to see more AEG titles as we go here. I think they changed their philosophy a few years ago to, instead of cranking out a ton of games, they're going to put out fewer games but develop them further. And I wish more publishers would take their lead, because all their games that are coming out now, including the ones that they partner with Flat Out Games, are winners in my book. I just talked about Whirling Witchcraft. I've talked about Kubitos. Whirling Witchcraft I talked about in the last, was it the last one? Or, I'm totally mixing this up. I think I talked about it on someone's podcast, so my bad. But anyways, Cascadia, which they partner with Flat Out Games, all huge hits with me and my family. I think this is going to be another one. That is the Guild of Merchants and Explorers, the Queen's Orders. Okay, number 11 is, the Quacks of Quedlinburg. I don't have a video of this because I don't have a copy of this, but this is another game that I played. Michelle and I played with the Brothers Smurf when we visited Camarillo. We were hanging out in Xander's Game House, and there was a copy there, and I brought it out from the library. I was going to teach Michelle, and that's when Nick showed up, and I was like, thank goodness Nick is here, because he's a wonderful game teacher, and he knows this like the back of his hand. So he brought it, or he taught it, and really enjoyed this. It's still a hit. Now these days I'd rather play Kubitos, just because I love chuck dicing, or dice chucking. And they have similarities where it's a bag builder, or you're building up. You start with your basic things, and you're gonna increase them over the game, get better stuff. And in this case, the little bit better chits. And they all have different abilities and scoring mechanisms, and it's really fun to you reach in the bag, grab your thing, like a chit, and you can only get up to 7. You cannot go more than 7. So do you continue pulling those, or do you stop? If you bust, you get a little catch-up mechanism thingy. Michelle, this was her first time playing it. She really enjoyed it, and which I'm happy of. I figured she would, but thanks to Nick for teaching this, because it was a lot smoother than me. I was like trying to remember how to play it. It had been a while, and once he showed up, he was like, he taught it like nothing. So, hi, Castro. Yeah, Chuck Dyson, never heard of him. Oh, I love getting tongue twisted like that. Chuck Dicey. Anyone? No one's heard of Chuck Dicey? He's a good guy. Dice chucking, folks. Yeah, love dice chucking. I won't be able to stop laughing after a while. And Kestrel's house, Kestrel. Thanks for lurking, man. To have a good work lurk. What's my number 10 game? Glad you asked, Ruel. Number 10 this month was Hive Mind. Hey, another one I don't have pictures of because I played this at Dinosaur West for the very first time. Michelle and I joined Christina and Dan from and going on, which Amanda was just talking about in chat. Perfect timing. Hive Mind is a fantastic party game. I never expected it to be this good. It's a trivia based game. It's sort of like, I guess, reverse categories. So the active player draws a card. They're going to have a few choices. Then they're going to pick, okay, which one are we going to go with? We're going to say, 5 Marvel movies. And then everyone has a piece of paper. You write down 5 Marvel movies. And then when everyone's ready, the active player reads the first one off their list. Iron Man. Who has Iron Man? You raise your hand, and that's how many points everyone gets. So you're going to go, and then if obviously if you don't have any, you're not getting any points. And it's all about, thinking like the Hive. What, answers do you think you're going to put on there, and what's everyone going to put on there so you get the most points. And then you're going to move in past the Hive. And what this is the lowest score is going to move down the Hive here. And there's only there could be more than one, but there's usually just one loser. Whoever's the first out of the Hive has lost. Everyone else wins. So it's a great party game. We played with 9 players. We just had a bunch of extra pieces, and having 9 players I thought was a bit much. It ran about close to an hour for 9. That's too long for this game. There's ways to shorten it. You can play fewer rounds, just fewer players. You can start on the track a little further along here with the special abilities things. But boy, was it fun. I didn't expect it. We played this Dice Tower West. I want to thank Christina Shu for inviting us over. They actually had like a super cool deluxe a suite at the top of the Rio. Thanks to one of their friends or a family friend or something. Hooked them up, and there's a ton of people there late after, I think, what was it, Wednesday night? Or maybe, no, it was Thursday night. After we were done playing in the main convention, I ran into Dan. He's like, "Hey, come on up to the suite. We've got some people there," and it was so much fun. Thank them again for that. So it was it's such a cool game. It's by Richard Garfield, folks. Was it Richard Garfield? Oh my gosh, let me check. Was it Richard Garfield? Yes, Richard Garfield, designer of a game you might have heard of called Magic the Gathering. King of Tokyo. All kind of, just for fun. I want to see this guy talk about a legendary designer. We're talking about Uwe Rosenberg earlier. Android Netrunner, Magic the Gathering, Bunny Kingdom, King of Tokyo, Robo Rally, Keyforge, King of New York, Netrunner. I mean, come on. The hits keep on coming. Treasure Hunter, I haven't played that one yet. I want to play The Hunger. Half Truth was another trivia game he did with Ken Jennings of Jeopardy fame. I thought that was a little underrated. Half Truth was pretty good, but Hive Mind, I'd rank that above that. I really enjoyed Hive Mind. And Fed Sensei says, encouragement of Hive Mind, or you should think like everyone else, puts me out. Don't even want to play. Oh, interesting. I thought I liked it. I think it's really a cool way of, can you get into the minds of the other players? So then there's a lot of metagaming as well, and it was really fun because when you know the other people, I think it'll benefit from multiple plays with the same game group, because then you can start to mess with people. I really enjoyed it, and that's why it's my number 10, Hive Mind. Let's move on to number 9. It is Isle of Cats Explore and Draw. This one played with Richard Rahdo Ham actually just last week. Isle of Cats. Can we, maybe we can pull up Rahdo's video. Isle of Cats Rahdo. We got to play Explore and Draw. There it is there. Hey, there we are. It's basically Isle of Cats, the roll and write. And I actually I was talking to Richard about this. I was close to saying I'd rather play this than the real game, but then I thought about it. No, I actually like the original game better. Rahdo, I think he prefers this version of Roll and Write because it has a lot of the same things as the original game, where you're placing pieces on your ship and trying to fill them up and connect the families of cats together. And boy, it is so good, and it plays really quickly. I'm thinking about this one and Dinosaur Island Rawr and Right, where I like that one more than the original because the setup to that game is a lot more than the setup for the Roll and Write game. Isle of Cats, I feel like the setup wasn't as bad the original game compared to the Roll and Write game. So we played this online, and you can play this over Zoom, or you can play this we played on stream, and we had the viewers as well play along, which was great because it's like a bingo style. You pick a row, you draw your pieces on there, and then you're trying to connect similar colors. And then you have the different lessons, which I really like because they're all different, and you're going to pick different ones depending on what row or column you choose. You have special abilities that can break the rules of the game. Oh boy, so good. And it plays, I think it's in 7 rounds. Now Frank West, the designer of the game, he developed this Roll and Write version during the pandemic. And I remember playing early on with Amanda Panda and some other friends, and we really enjoyed it. And then once he started tweaking things and he got it to this version of the complete version, it's so much better. I think it's just a fantastic Roll and Write. That's why it's my number 9, Isle of Cats, Explore and Draw. And this, it's probably, I'm thinking like Roll and Writes. I love Roll and Writes, and this is definitely in my top 10 of all time. Wonderful game. Okay, let's move on to my number 8 game. It is, Shake That City. I do not have this on here because yet another game from our friends at AEG. It is in prototype form now. Do they have pictures? They do have pictures. Okay, cool. Shake That City. I want to say hi to Legends. Legends, thanks for joining us. I just saw you here. Thank you for hanging out. Lakeshral says, Legends. I played this one at Dinosaur West. We got to visit the AEG house thanks to Amanda Panda connecting us with the crew over there. Wow. Another similar game I can compare this to is Tiny Towns. But what this is, if you see here, it's got a little shaker. Can y'all see that here in the left corner? You're going to shake this little box of cubes. And then the way you place them is going to determine what you place on your player board, which they don't have pictures of. But basically, it gives you like this little grid. I think it's a 3x3 grid of colors. And then the different color cubes, you're going to place those. They all correspond to different types of towns. So it's almost like this got this, if you remember Quadropolis, it's got this Quadropolis / Tiny Towns feel to it. Plays in about 30 minutes. Another quick game that I love. Very puzzly. Got to play this with, I think it was Tyler of Covray. And was it Ilya? Could have been both. Oh my gosh, I forgot. I think it's Tyler, Amanda, and I. Wow, it's good. And then I played it again recently with Amanda and Book of Nerds. I love this type of game. Michelle is going to love it. I know it's going to be an instant hit. If you like Tiny Towns and or Quadropolis, highly recommend. You are collecting different sets of, like, say, industry or residential neighborhoods. They each have a different way to score. Like, certain ones want to be next to each other. And then you have, if you notice on the outer edge of the boards here, you have these that as you fill in a row or column, you can flip over those for more points. You either flip over a column if they're all the same color. That is indicated by the tile here. I could zoom in a little bit. Nope, can't. Can I? Yeah. And okay, yeah, you can see here where some of them, flip over if they have the same color, or flip over if they meet certain requirement, like different colors, or what was the other ones here? I think it's like same color, stuff like that. Okay, it's not, you can't see it here. Okay, no worries. Quadropolis is a good game that I hardly seen played. Yeah, Legends, I was just thinking about that because I played this one recently. It's been on my mind. I still have a copy. I don't think we've live streamed it yet, Michelle and myself. I don't know, is there a solo variant? I don't know if there is. I don't have the expansion. I don't know if the expansion has a solo variant. But Quadropolis is a winner. And it's one of those games that I feel like got overlooked a few years ago. Meeple Lady taught it to me at a convention one time, and I immediately sought it out, and I scored a really good deal. I think I got it for like $10 used. A guy that was in LA I think I'm connected with him through Strategicon. He was moving away, and he was just like selling all his games left and right for dirt cheap prices. So I picked up Quadropolis from him. But yeah, Shake That City, really cool city builder. Got that puzzly element to it where you're dropping cubes in certain patterns. So if you like pattern style games, Shake That City from Mods Flow and Kare Torndal Jar from AEG. Number 8 on my list of games I played last month. Number 7. Let's continue. We're getting to the top games of the month here, folks. Tenpenny Parks. I just played this as a sponsored stream from Thunderworks Games. I want to thank Tim and the crew there for sponsoring Gaviola Game Night. We do this once a month. I have friends over where we play games all day long. Here's we played with Amanda Panda. Wow, this is gonna be a good game. This is coming out on this is straight to retail from Thunderworks. It should be in stores, I think. I don't want to quote. I thought it was gonna be in stores at the end of this month, but I don't know. Check the website; they'll give you more info there. But this is a worker placement game fused onto a tile placement game. So you know Barron Park, folks. I love Barron Park. You're building a park of bears. This one's more amusement park, and it's got art by Vincent Dutray. I know there's a lot of Vincent Dutray fans out there. The art is wonderful. The gameplay is excellent. Very streamlined worker placement game. I'd call this a Gateway Plus game as far as weight. Excuse me. It is easy to pick up, but there are some things where I think if you're a new gamer, it might... Actually, no, I'm looking at it. It's pretty straightforward. But what you're doing in the game is you're building your park. You have 5 rounds to do it, and you're building the polyominoes, right? The different rides, attractions onto your park by using worker placement. And there is some resource management. You got to manage your money. Just keep your money on your mind and your mind on your money, right? Mind on money, money on mind. I can't, I'm tongue twisted. I don't know how Snoop said it back in the day. But money is tight at the start. So you really want to start getting your engine going as far as income. So you want to get either an attraction that gives you money, or you can build concessions in your park that give you money. And those will allow you to build your rides. Now, each ride is going to help you go up one of these tracks here on the left side. Let me see if I can pull it up a little further here. There's thrills, awe, and joy. And those, at the end of each round, are going to give you bonuses, whether it's an extra worker, extra money, or extra points, or the first player marker. And that's a really cool thing. Going up those tracks, as you can see, there are Amanda's refilling their concessions. Those give you points, or they can give you income, or they can go, and she's showing you right there, you can go up one of the joy, thrill, or awe tracks. And what's cool is the tile placement is different. Normally, in tile placement, you want to put them adjacent to each other. This, you do not place them adjacent. You put them corner to corner, which is way harder. And Amanda pointed out that, it's tough, and I agree. And as you saw, she just turned the carousel there. The carousel, the player with the shovel, that means the first player. Each round, they're going to be able to rotate that. And some of those spots, we're going to give you a discount or an additional fee to build. So you can sort of hose your opponent, or you can help yourself out if you're the first player. And I just popped it out right there. But yeah, so something that costs like $7, you can rotate the carousel for your first player, give yourself a $2 discount, which really helps. A lot of cool little things going on here as far as worker placement, tile placement go, and resource management. You see there as well, the trees that go onto your park. You have to get rid of those trees to fit those pieces on there. So you have to go to a certain spot called the arborist, which will remove trees. Wow, I like this game, and I think I like it more the more I play. I just soloed it twice off camera by myself. The solo game's another one that I like because it's easy to manage. So good. I think they've got a hit on their hands. So have I said this a few times already? I'm sorry, but I truly do believe this is gonna be a good one. All right. Let's see. Number 6 is Ready, Set, Bet. Wow, I've been raving about this. Was my number 1 game, I think, last month, folks. I've been raving about this one for a while. I do not have pictures of this. Let's see. Board Game Geek. Ready. I think they have a... BGG page now. Yes, they do. Yes. John D. Clare, I see his name on a game. I'm like, insta buy, insta play. Yep, there it is. I've talked about this before. It is a real-time party game, which I think is going to replace a lot of party games in a lot of collections. I love it because it's the game that truly captures this thrill of gambling without gambling. You have a horse. You can see there the horses are going along the track there. It's done real time. One player is going to roll dice, move horses. Everyone else on that roulette / craps or roulette layout, you're going to place bets in real time. You have a certain number of tokens. Do you think a horse is going to come first, second, or third? Win, place, or show. There are also exotic bets and also special abilities that you can bet on or use. Wow, wow, wow. For a game that plays in 40 minutes that can play up to 9 players, amazing. And a design masterpiece, in my opinion. I've talked about it more on other my other wrap-ups. Check out those. But boy, folks, this is going to be awesome. Phantom Meeple, thanks for the lurk. Enjoy it, friend. Ready, Set, Lurk. Ready, Set, Lurk. Ready, Set, Bet is coming out. I think they have a Gen Con release schedule. It's going to be awesome. It is going to be a huge hit. Yet another one that I think is going to be huge. But this one, I'm really hyped about this. Let's move on to number 5. We got the top 5 coming up, folks. Luzon Rails. Oh, boy. I love this one. Now, this is not in print anymore. This was a Kickstarter that Robin David did. He self-published, and Michelle and I played it during Tabletop Live Network, the latest one. It's a Cube Rails game. I have no experience with Cube Rails game. This is the first one I played. Fell in love with it instantly. Partly because of the theme. It's set in the Philippines. I am my cultural heritage. My parents were born and raised in the Philippines. I was born and raised here in the States, but very proud to be Filipino. And this game is set in Luzon, which is the northern part of the Philippines. There are 7,000 islands, folks. This is one of the over 7,000 islands in the Philippines. And what you're doing is you're building rails at the turn of the century. You're a railway company investor. So you're helping build rails, investing in different companies. And as you can see there, we're using the Brass Birmingham, or the not Brass Birmingham, the Iron Clays from Roxley. We've also replaced the train cubes with trains from Ticket to Ride, because as far as colorblind issues, I think it's just easier for me to see with these. And these are such a really interesting economic game, right? So as you invest into certain companies, you're going to use that same money to build the rails. And so you want to buy stocks because at the end of the game, you're going to get points based on those stocks, and or money, and the most money wins. Now, what sets this apart is the actions that you do are not. You don't have the same set of actions. Now you're going to be playing actions here on the right side. Now these are all just happen to be all the same. Let me move up here. Those are no actions there. No actions there. Come on, where are the cards? There they are. You have different actions. You can buy rails. You can invest. You can add money to a company, and you can do an auction to sell more to sell shares. And it depends on what's on that board. And when all the cards on that board are gone, the round ends. You also have a couple in your hand that you can do to play the ones that you want, or you can extend the round by playing those. Michelle and I really got into this game. I think it's, for a Cube Rails game, it's a really good introduction, I feel, to the genre, because I know there are tons of other ones out there. And I like this train game because I have not played an 18xx game, and I know that they run longer. And these days, I just don't have time for longer games. But something like this, it plays in about 45 to an hour. I think this is more in my wheelhouse as far as games go. James says, trains, give me them cubes. Yeah. Now, nothing. Yeah, I think this just looked cooler. And the cubes, they did have, and according to the publisher, or to the designer, he said when he had this published, they did have something going on with a factory where the cubes that they came up with some of them looked a little too similar in my eyesight. So thankfully we were able to use, there's the actions that you can do. Thankfully it was easy to replace them with the Ticket to Ride trains. But Luzon Rails, big hit here, number 5 on the list of games I played last week. Number 4, Three Sisters, and wow. could this be the #1 roll and write game in my collection? It may be. It may. I've played it several times now, all solo. Actually, no, I played it multiplayer with Amanda Panda. She's the one that taught me. So thanks, Amanda. But wow, this game was awesome. And we just we had a solo challenge thanks to James and Legends. Combo-tastic, friends. And this one's cool because I don't have another roll and write that combines a rondelle with a roll and write mechanism, so that's neat. The dice represent where you're going to plant stuff in your garden, and then the rondelle gives you actions that you can take. You have a shed. You can you're going to mark off stuff in your shed on the fruit trees, the aviary, and also goods. You also have perennials. Wow, how can I mean, was this? I keep thinking this is probably going to be my #1 roll and write game here. I'm not a rondelle fan. I'm not the biggest rondelle fan, but for this it works, and I really enjoy the setting up those combos where you're going to go from set something up in your shed, which gives you extra abilities, which gives you extra ways to score points. You go a certain way as far as you have to do your growing of your plants in a certain way because thematically it's really neat. It talks about the Three Sisters, Native American gardening technique where you start with your corn, then your beans come in, and so forth. Oh boy, I want to thank James and Legends for doing the solo challenge because it really gave me opportunity to play, or the motivation to play it more than once. And honestly, I was going to play it more than once anyways because it's so good. But it helped me. You know what it did? It helped me learn the game and learn the strategies better because everyone in a Discord, and I'm going to drop the Discord link. I haven't done that yet. But please join our Discord, folks. The Fam Bam over there. We have a great time talking about solo games and a lot of other stuff. But for this particular one, the solo game, it helped me learn some strategies after I read the thread on all these. And people were so great. Sharing their tips and advice, and as James says, played 8 times over 2 weeks. Yeah, I think I played it 4 times or 3 times this week or last week, and I'll be playing it again. That's why it's my #4, Three Sisters. Let's continue the list here. #3, I mentioned this a little earlier. Dinosaur Island Rawr and Right. Here's Rahdo. Actually, no, Rahdo's not there. There is Ruel. Here, I soloed this. I like this. I rank this slightly higher than Three Sisters because I think I played this more. But I think Three Sisters is trending upward. I think it'll definitely supplant it. But for this last month, I really loved Rawr and Right because it's letting me get rid of Dinosaur Island, the original game. I enjoyed the original game. There's a lot of setup, a lot of things going on. I felt like it was a little clunkier than it should have been. And I like Dual Solo Island, the 2-player game. But I think the Rawr and Right does everything right about it. Now, one thing I have to say, I do miss the little dino meeples. So it's a bummer you don't get dino meeples. But you're doing it in polyomino style. You're going to put in your park. And it's dice placement, which I love. I love that mechanism. And resource management, as you can see there, it still has the big chunky Dinosaur Island dice, which I love. And if you want Dinosaur Island, if you want to play it, this is the one. I'm going to recommend this one because it takes everything I love about Dinosaur Island, the original game, and streamlines it down. And you can play solo, and it's so wonderful. And it's funny because I rank this higher. I know I rank this higher than Three Sisters, which will probably go in the end be higher ranked than this. But this will always be top 10. Well, I shouldn't say always, but it's in my top 10. Could be top 5 because I love the dice placement. I love the different abilities that you can unlock during the game, and it's one of those examples, along with Three Sisters and other roll and write games, that give you way more depth and feel more like a board game, quote unquote, than like a Yahtzee, right? I mean, you are rolling dice, but you are using everything. You have abilities you can unlock. You can use those dice in certain ways, just like you do a rondelle. You use a rondelle to set yourself up. In this case, in Three Sisters, in this case, you're using dice placement to set yourself up for all those cool combos and whatnot. And Fem Sensei brings up a good point. Let me put that on. Fem Sensei says, always interesting when I kickstart a game, Dinosaur, and the throw in roller right is very, yeah. And I remember it when the they just added this in as part of the Kickstarter, and just I also ended up liking this way more. No, I shouldn't. Well, I mean, I like the fact that it's streamlined and plays way more quickly than the original. The original, I mean, the original is still a great game, but again, I feel like it's clunkier and it just has a way more setup than something like this has, and that's why Dinosaur Island Rawr Right is my number 3 played game, number 3 ranked game on my list of games I played last month. All right, wow, 2 more games, folks. Let's see what we got here. Number 2 is Last Light. Wow. I loved Last Light. This was something I played at Dice Tower West. Thanks to Roy Kennedy of the Dice Tower. This is his game that's going to be coming up on GameFound real soon. Roy is a 4X fan, 4X game fan. I enjoy 4X games like Twilight Imperium. Do they have a picture of the board? They do not. Well, here's one of the characters that you can play. The fact that Roy designed, this is the first game designed, and he did a game that is a 4X game that plays in an hour, and I could not believe it. It truly is a game, 4X game that plays in an hour, because he's done some really clever things and really smart things. He streamlined it because in a couple of ways. Number one, it's the simultaneous action selection. And that was a fantastic choice on his part, because that really speeds up the game. Then you have these special abilities. Everyone has asymmetrical ability, and this is one of them here. You have this one here. You're trying to get, I think, the name of the game is to get to 20 light or victory points, and you're going to do that by playing action cards and action selection. And once you play a card, you cannot pick it up again until there's a certain card that allows you to pick up all your cards, and then that's going to trigger certain things. I played this at 6 players. Myself, my good friends Patrick and Chris, Roy, and then Amy and Maggie from Thinker Themer. And we were all blown away. In fact, Patrick and Chris, the brothers, they were like immediately going to back it. And they asked Roy, where can we back it? And Roy's like, oh, we're going to do it end of the month, end of April, I think. So, and Patrick and Chris, we played Twilight Imperium together, played a couple other games. We played a lot of games in the past, but we were so impressed by the design, and it has the same, hey, you can explore, you can flip over tiles, get stuff. You can exploit, and you can exterminate. Within the first 2 games, folks, or first 2 rounds, we had battles going on, and the battles, which is great. You're going to lose ships, whatever. You can regenerate basically on the next round. Exploiting or using what are the 4 X's again? Exploit, expand. Thank you. I'm looking at my copy of Heroes Land of Air, Land, and Sea right behind me. Wow, I cannot get enough of this game. I ranked this. I just talked about this on a podcast over on Tabletop Express. It was my number 1 it was my favorite game. But there was another game that came up that I liked just a little more. But this, I cannot wait, folks, for this to come out. I am highly recommending this. It's going to be, I put this on your list for things to back on Kickstarter or GameFound. I think Roy's got a huge hit on his hand here. And I know the hype about it, the buzz is real. I think about that experience I had at Dice Tower West. We were all just like afterwards, Roy had actually turned on his timer on his phone. And after the teach was like 15 minutes, pretty quick. And he started the timer when we started playing. When we're done, we looked at the timer. It was exactly at 60 minutes. Mind blown. Such accomplishment. And hey, Epic and Gaming, thank you for joining us. Where's that comment? Thanks thank you, Roy, for joining us today. Good to see you. Yeah, super stoked for more people to check it out. I cannot recommend this enough. Again, if you're a 4X fan, you're gonna love this game, folks. I don't want to do guarantees, but I feel like you're gonna like this. Number 2 on my list of games I played last month. Why don't we review real quick the games that I played last month? I'm ranking them in order here. Thank you, friends, for joining me today. This is Ruel's wrap up. The number 27, Sherlock Files, Puzzling Plots. Number 26, Crystal Tiger Dice. Number 25, Pathways. Number 24, Fire and Stone. Number 23, The Adventures of Robin Hood. 22, Décorum. 21, Oak. 20, The Little Flower Shop. 19, Silver and Gold. 18, Tumble Town. 17, The Whatnot Cabinet. 16, Reykholt. 15, Dice Miner. 14, Project L. 13, Wordsy. 12, The Guild of Merchant Explorers, The Queen's Orders. 11, The Quacks of Quedlinburg. 10, Hive Mind. Number 9, Isle of Cats Explore and Draw. Number 8, Shake That City. Number 7, Tenpenny Parks. Number 6, Ready, Set, Bet. Number 5, Luzon Rails. Number 4, Three Sisters. Number 3, Dinosaur Island, Rawr and Right. Rawr and Right. Number 2, Last Light. And the number 1 game I played, I'm going to get this all set up here so y'all can see. The number 1 game I played, I absolutely love this game, was Zapotec. A game by Fabio, I want to make sure I get the name right. Fabio Lopiano, the designer of such games as Kalimala, Merv, Silk Road, and others. I played this during Gaviola game night with my friend Daryl. So good. I cannot rave about this game enough. It's a Euro game that plays in 90 minutes or less. Now, Daryl and I, we played our 2-player game in about 45 minutes on stream. I feel like we can knock this out in a half an hour. I love the fact that you can have this rich, deep Euro game experience in a short amount of time. You have 5 rounds. It is a tight game, folks, and you're going to be... It's a very standard Euro that takes you get resources and convert them to other resources to get the victory points that you need. It takes that formula and really narrows it down into a game that is tight and just well focused and just brilliant. I love that. And I want to see more games do this, where you're taking a Euro game that could take like over 2 hours back in the day, right? But it streamlines it down. What am I doing over here? We're doing a raid over there. Okay, me and Daryl got our raid helmets on. But it really streamlines it down, and as you can see, we're collecting different sets of things where we have special abilities that we can use, and we're going to score something different every round. So that's going to play into, do I go for this here now, or am I trying to set myself up in the long run for these type of things? So brilliant. You have a track that you can go up as well, get more points. Sliver says Merv also plays in 9 minutes. I've not played Merv, and I know that the brothers Merv rave about that game. I need to play that. Slivers also says he wants to play Last Light so much, talking about my number 2 game. Last Light, Slivers, you are going to love. And I am going to be... I'm thinking about Last Light, but let me talk about Zapotec a little more. You have a lot of variability, replayability in this game because the different goals are going to come out during the game. You're only scoring, I think, 3 of in a 2-player game, you have 3 special ones that you can score. Then each round you're going to score a different area of the board. Oh my gosh, wonderful game. No worries, Slivers. Totally, you can distract me all you want, my friend. But Zapotec, Euro game, goodness. And this one is, I thought this was released last year, but it was released this year from Boredom Dice. And they put out those games, the T series like Teotihuacan and so forth. Heavier games, more of Origins, another one. But they also do this line of games that I want to see more of, like Zapotec, which gives you that experience of a little crunchiness, a little brain burn, but in a much shorter amount of time. And I like that because I'm going to get this played way more than I will, where the games that take a little longer and take a little more setup. This one, wonderful game. It's my number 1 that I played this month, Zapotec. So... Oops, I just showed you a little sneak peek of Lego R2-D2, but friends, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it, especially the first-time chatters. Thank you for joining my Twitch stream, and as I did my Ruel's wrap-up, a monthly look back at the games I played last month. Played 27 different games last month, most of them multiple times each, and another great month of gaming. Thank you, friends. Let me hydrate real quick. So good. What has been on your plate, folks? What's been on your table? Let me know. Let's chat a little bit more, and then I'm going to pass the party along here on a Monday morning. We're going to raid someone. next. But let me know what you've been playing. I know we talked a few of these games earlier. Oh, real quick, what? Okay, yeah. We're talking about Merv. Yeah. Cool. Solid list. Thank you, Fem Sensei. I appreciate you hanging out here. Always good to see you on chat, friend. Where is this thing? Here it is. Why is this over here? I don't know. It's wacky, but all the behind scenes stuff. Paula looks like she's playing. Oh, Final Girl. Cool. We're gonna raid into Paula's stream then next. Anything else I want to chat about? No. Okay. Why don't we get over to Paula's stream? Let's get over there. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me today. This has been fun. I always enjoy doing this. It's always fun hanging out with y'all. And oh, Jester said they have just played Cascadia. Oh, love Cascadia. Marvel Champions is another one. I have not played enough Marvel Champions. I've played it solo and I played it once on multiplayer. I need to play. I've got a copy of it. I really enjoyed it. But thank you, Jester, for sharing that. Thank you, Variant Hex, for tuning in. Always good to see you here. Cascadia was a huge hit for me. Folks, if you're not part of our Discord, please join our Discord. Dropping the link right there. We talk about we can continue the conversation over there. We play solo games together. We talk about board games, our fur babies. We talk about Legos and all kinds of nerdery, including our the food that we eat. We share photos. I'm a foodie, so speaking of food, I need to go eat. I've had my breakfast, but I need a little snack right now. So we're gonna raid Paula. Please show her a lot of love. We all love Paula. She is amazing and inspiring, and just a good person. We are gonna raid her. Let me get her over here. Raid. There she is. Stick around for the raid, folks. I'll be back later tonight with Tabletop Night, 7 p.m. Pacific and 10 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to start the raid now. Stick around. Let's show some love to Paula. Thank you, friends. Appreciate y'all hanging out for Ruel's wrap-up. I'll talk to you later. Bye now.